What's up, people of YouTube? Hey, I'm back here. I'm going to put another video here on, it's a Kenmore Elite front load washing machine. This model I have here is the 796 4051 2900 model washing machine. This thing, I'm going to show you how to put this thing in the diagnostic mode so you can test features. For instance, I had a problem with mine where it was coming up with a 0E code failure. Now that represents the drain error. And what was happening was my washing machine would come on, go through its cycle, and when it would go to the drain mode to drain all the water out, that code would pop up because the drain motor wasn't pumping water out. So I'm going to show you how I can get into the test mode, diagnostic, and you can test each feature as far as motor speed. You can test the water solenoids, turn those on to see if your water's coming out of each feature. So there's different ones. I'll go through the list of what you got. So what you're going to do here is you hold down spin speed and soil level together. Make sure the power's off on your machine. Then go over here and tap the power button and turn it on. Okay, you hear that double beep comes on. Right now we're in diagnostic mode. Okay, the door locked on there. So now we know we can't open it. So you know that's one way to test the door mode. It'll click and lock, so you know. Okay, so the first feature of diagnostic mode, you press this play button. First mode is testing the direction, the clockwise direction speed of the motor. Now this is a variable speed motor. It'll go fast or slow depending on what the inverter tells it to do. If it wants to spin fast, it'll spin fast. Spin slow, it'll spin slow. Reverse, and so on. So this just is the clockwise direction for the motor. Okay. Second feature, push play again. We'll put you into the low speed setting. So right now this is just low speed for the motor control. So it'll show your RPM up there. It'll go up to 100 or whatever. But this is just giving you an example that right now we're in low speed. Okay, as it's turning there, you can see how fast. It's not very fast. So the next one, which is number 3 mode in diagnostics, press this again. Now it'll kick it into high speed. So if you look, the RPMs will change. You can hear it. There it goes. Boom. Speeding up. Now this is high speed, and it'll go faster, but this is just an example of testing your speed to make sure your high and low speeds working. Make sure your inverter on the motor is doing what it's supposed to. And it goes faster now. Let that baby roll. See, this baby cranks. Okay. Anyways, that's fast enough. So push it again. Number 4 mode is going to be your inlet solenoid that feeds water into the pre-wash reservoir. So inside this reservoir you have a pre-wash soap you put in, you have your main soap, you have your bleach dispenser, and you have your fabric softener. So this is just showing that water is injecting into the pre-wash cycle where you put your pre-wash soap. Okay, push it again. The next one is the solenoid that turns on for your main water, or your main water valve, so your main wash reservoir. So right now inside, water's injecting into the main wash reservoir where all your soap's at. Okay? Let's press it again to the next mode. Now, this is your hot water. Right now, the hot water is being injected into the inside there. Now you can kind of see the water going in a little bit. It's kind of tinted. You can see my cool reflection too. What's up? Yeah, so that's just the case. So that one is the hot water mode. Okay, let's press it again. Now, this is the water that's feeding into the bleach reservoir. If you put bleach inside there, so that's that one. Okay, push it again. This one is counterclockwise direction for the motor. So now the motor's running backwards, clockwise, or counterclockwise. The first one we did was clockwise direction. Okay, do it again. This one, I believe they call it, what was it? Inlet dry. I can't remember. It didn't really say on there too much, but it doesn't do nothing. So let's just leave that one. I guess we're good. So there's really nothing to test on that one because it doesn't show nothing. So let's push it again. This is our drain. Right now, if you look inside there, I don't know if you can kind of see it. The reflection's kind of... But right now, our water is draining out of our washing machine. So this was the test that I wanted to do when I wanted to test the condition of my drain pump. So when I did it, I was getting that 0E code failure. So when I came over here to turn the pump, turn it into this mode, to test the drain pump, it just hummed down below. Now the drain pump is actually behind. That's your drain filter. So if you're having a problem where water's not draining, you pull this guy out here, and this is your filter. You get all the lint, all that crap that's in the washing machine. As it drains out, it goes into there. Filters the water first before it goes out of the drain pump. But the drain pump is actually located behind this. To get that out, you pull this front cover off. You pull the drum ring off, door. It's a little bit of a job, but I could. I don't want to show you right now because there's a lot to do into that. So that's the test mode for the drain pump. And water is draining, so we're good. So push it again. That is the end of the cycle. Okay? That just says we're done with test mode. And then to clear out of test mode, we press it again. Boom, we're done. And that's it. Door unlocks, we're set. And yeah, that's it. So also I was going to say a couple things. There's lots of codes that come up on this thing. So I can go over a little bit with you and I'll tell you as far as what the codes will do. So if you ever get a code on here that says now let's turn this on. You ever get a code on here and it says 0E. 0E is going to mean that you have a drain error. The water's not draining. That could consist of the pump's not turning on, the pump's not getting rid of the water, your water filter is clogged, which is down below here, and all you do is make sure it's done, it's off. Twist this baby up, and boom, pull it out. There's a little cartridge screen, but you just clean it off. You'll see all the junk on the bottom of it. It's kind of fun, but you check that. So I would say check your water pump, check your drain pump. Make sure the hose isn't kinked on your drain line because it's a hose that feeds up that goes into the back of your unit. So make sure you check that guy. Filter clogged. Those are things that the drain pump would do. Now in my case, my drain pump, the pump inside seized up, and that's why I wouldn't drain. So I had to take the pump apart, clean it up, and it still seized up again because it got damaged on the inside. So I just put a whole new pump. So those are the drain pumps. So the 0E code that would show up here would be drain pump failure. Okay. Another one would be IE. And that represents your water supply is not feeding into the unit. So when you go into cycle mode, turns on, it could be as far as water's not coming out. So check your hoses. Make sure you have a good amount of pressure coming into your washing machine. Make sure the hoses aren't kinked. Make sure your water supply pressure coming from your house is good. Your PSI could be too low. Several things. I've seen sometimes if you have galvanized pipes in your house, what will happen is people will go turn the water off on the house, come back, and then that galvanized junk that's inside, all the corrosion inside the pipes, will clog up the screens inside the connections that go to it. And then eventually the solenoids get clogged up. Stuff like that. That would be the IE code. Okay. OE. You'll see it'll say OE. That represents that your door is not clocking right. So it could be your door sensor in here is messed up. Something on this point's not latching right. It could be that. A couple of things like that. Okay. UE. UE up here would mean that you have an uneven balance inside your washing machine. So either your load's too small, things are shifted to one side too much. So when it spins, it's got a spin sensor on here, and if it senses some kind of uneven balance, it'll set off the UE code. So that's an unbalanced error. Yeah, it could be your stuff might not be in there evenly. You put heavy product on one side, so when it goes into spin mode, the balance sensor senses it and will fail it out. So make sure you can open it up, move stuff around, equalize it. If not, it might be the balance sensor on there that's going out. FE code, you'll see FE right here. That will mean that you have an overflow error. So your drain pump will automatically kick into auto mode and turn on if that happens. So if you ever see the FE code, it'll automatically kick in and jump into drain mode and clear everything out because you have an overflow error. There's another one here, and it'll look like an L, E, but it'll have this dash in the middle. So it'll look like the letter L. So these two sides will be lit up. Bottom one's lit up, but this will stay lit up. So it almost looks like an L, and then you'll have an E right here. And that represents your thermistor error. So the thermistor is the sensor that measures the temperature inside there. If that's failed out, it won't come on. You get that code. LE, which would be, let's turn this on again. You'll see L and then capital E. That will represent that your motor is locked up. Now, what you could do to check that out is, well, in this case, we put it into motor test mode and the motor turns, so we're good. So if the motor wasn't turning, in the back of the motor there's a 3-pin connector and then there's a 4-pin connector. Make sure the connection is good on those, and that will check that. Sometimes they'll come loose. Make sure there's no corrosion on the connection. Make sure that the pins are nice and tight on those connection harnesses. It could be the motor is gone. Yeah, that's a possibility. Also, that it could be is there's a sensor located on the motor that measures. It's called the Hall sensor. So it measures the as the motor turns, it measures that rotation. If that's failed out, you'll get that effect, and it'll lock them. It won't turn the motor on pretty much. So you can check that. Then you have PF code, which would be a capital P, capital F. That represents that you had a power failure. So maybe your power went out in the house when you're washing. Then the next thing you know, you go turn it on, and then you get that PF code. That means that the power failure went out. So it went off, and that was the last thing that it did. So if it goes into that, it's an interruption. So pretty much all you'd have to do is usually just reset it, recycle it. Kind of sucks, but if you ever see that PF, that means that the power got shut off during the cycle of when it was being used. Yeah, so those are some of the things you can look for as far as things to look for. Diagnostic mode. So, testing. There's a lot more into this thing that people don't know about. But these are simple things you can do to test. Like, hey, you have no water in there. So if I have no water, let's turn it off. I'll show you again. Hold down spin and soil. Then press power. Okay, I want to see if this thing's going to pump water into it. So remember, our first one was motor speed. Motor works. Second one was the pre-wash solenoid. So I know there's water going in because you can hear the water in. Oh, I'm sorry. Second one was low speed. I apologize. So first one was motor clockwise direction. Second one was low speed for the motor. Third one was high speed for the motor. Fourth one was going to be your injection for the pre-wash. So you hear water going in, it's feeding, so you know that our water solenoid's working for the pre-wash. The next one was going to be our main water, so the water that injects into our main wash dispensary. So we know that's good. Push it again. Our hot water is working. You can hear the solenoid open. Water's coming out. Water's coming out inside there. So you know that all three of those are injecting water. So those are just ways if you wanted to come test your water, make sure it's working. So, and then so on. You got the other ones. You got your, what was it? Your bleach cycle, counterclockwise motor speed direction, Actually, the one that where it just sits there, that is the heater. It's a 3-second heater that comes on. It doesn't do nothing. You don't test it, but yeah. Next one was our drain. Now you can hear the water getting out, draining out, working good. So those are ways to test this thing to see if you're actually working right. Last one, turns it off, and then exit diagnostic mode. You're all over again. So if you found this video useful or helpful, let me know. I'll put more videos coming up in the future. So it's nice to be able to help people out, especially people that don't want to spend a lot of money, And if you call a repair guy, sorry repair guys, I'm a repair guy myself, but if you call a repair guy and you can tell them what it is, they can't BS you and give you an excuse of they can't BS you and take your money pretty much, because if you know a little bit what's going on, it's good to be ahead of the game. So I believe that everybody should get fair service, and not saying that everybody's a bad technician, but there are people out there that will take your money, and if you have no idea what's going on with problems, you're more vulnerable. So again, thanks for watching my video. I'll put some more up, and plenty of stuff. I do repairs with my business. I have plenty of stuff I do. Everything. Welding, electrical, plumbing, appliance repair. Gosh, lots of stuff. So let me know. Questions, concerns. I can even make a video next time I have a repair on one of these guys. I should have repaired the pump repair, but yeah. Oh well. Okay, well, have a nice day, and if you can, like and subscribe to my channel. I'd like to build it up and help people out. All right, thanks, and have a nice day. Bye.